What's up everybody, it's your boy back again with another certified hood classic, and for today's video, we gotta talk about a bit of a controversial topic. White people. But of course, before we get into that, I always have to ask, how'd your week go, man? How were these past 6 days for you? You know, it's another Monday, it might be another banger, but maybe your past week wasn't a banger. Maybe you watched football this past weekend, and you too also sat there in grave disappointment as you saw the Philadelphia Eagles get their ass kicked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But on a better note, today we get to be racist. I mean, we get to be philanthropists and think and talk about shit. So, you know, there's a lot of things in life that just don't go well together, you know, like pizza and ranch, or French people and human rights, or the Cleveland Browns and actually winning a football game. But when it comes to hip hop, if there's one thing that I've realized, is that white people and rap just doesn't correlate very well. Even in today's game, in which the sound has changed so much and new talent has popped up everywhere, there still isn't enough space for more than one white rapper at a time. But why is that? Well, the obvious answer can be that because, you know, they're white, and we're looking at the historical factors that come with hip hop. It's mainly being seen as a form of black art and perspective that is put in musical form. It's also a reflection of the troubles and the rebellion that black people faced even before the genre began back in the late 70s. And when you look at guys like Ian, Lil Dicky, G-Eazy, Macklemore, Post Malone, Vanilla Ice, and many more, it's clear with the music that they've made that they aren't exactly painting a clear picture of what makes hip-hop. The only real exception to this is Eminem, who's managed to garner tons of respect from some of the biggest names within the industry, alongside the fan bases as well, and he also has the backing of one of the most iconic names in the game. But then you take the other guys, especially the guys that you see today, and it makes you wonder, why can't none of these guys match the same status that Eminem had? Why does it seem that with every new white rapper that pops up, another one just happens to fall off right after? I think another part that plays into this is the fact that a lot of these guys seem very gimmicky, or they're only really good for one-hit wonders. Like taking Macklemore for example, right? If I asked you to name one song from the guy, it'd probably be Thrift Shop, right? I remember when that song came out back in 2012, and the popularity it had was absolutely insane. And it wasn't even a traditional hip hop song, but it was still being categorized as so. If anything, I would say it was more like a pop song that had rapping in it. And then there was also his album with producer Ryan Lewis, The Heist, which was like the equivalent of whitewashed Mexican food. But the clout it garnered managed to give it Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys, beating out Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and Jay-Z. But then when you look at what happened to Macklemore's career after that, well, it wasn't all that great. It's like these guys can have some really high peaks, but then it can be kind of difficult for them to match that because those one or two hit songs just ends up becoming their entire identity, alongside the fact that they're white. Or in Macklemore's case, you can just send a meaningless apology to Kendrick Lamar, post it on social media, and be labeled a cornball for the rest of your career. Another reason why white rappers aren't taken very seriously is because they also seem to not take the genre very seriously themselves. Prime example being Post Malone, who actually admitted to not even listening to hip hop and then just ended up criticizing the genre as a whole once he started switching to country music. This statement actually kind of blows my mind because, you know, this genre is literally the reason why he even has a foothold anywhere in the music scene. And you've managed to take the connections you've made, the status you've gained, and the core following you've built and just piss all over it for God knows why. Another example of this is when Miley Cyrus went on her whole rebrand thing and just happened to use hip hop as her gateway towards, you know, this whole new version of Miley that we see today. But then lo and behold, she also turned her back on a genre once she got big enough and started criticizing it as well. It's like for a lot of white musicians, rappers especially, it's like they tend to just dive into the genre for their own personal gain and not because they actually care to create something more positive and impactful for the genre. Like, I can't even listen to Ian without thinking that he's just a dumbed down version of Yeat. But then again, no, Yeat is also just a dumbed down version of the mumble rap sound we see in artists such as Future, Young Thug, and Playboi Carti. And while you can try and call it an inspiration in Yeat's perspective, what do we call it when it's Netspend or Ian? Especially when you see Ian's background and that he's basically just a privileged suburban white kid. Like, how can I connect with artists like this when we come from such opposite backgrounds and perspectives? And I know it's like you don't exactly have to form this sort of parasocial relationship when it comes to like your favorite artist or anything like that, but I feel like, especially in hip hop, when it comes to being able to sort of gain that following as a rapper, one thing is being able to connect to the audience. And I feel like the only thing Ian really does to be able to connect with us, he just seems to be more of a gimmick for TikTok kids, you know? And I mean, yeah, he has the Little Yachty cosign, but that's all just part of the young white avatar philosophy, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch Atlanta season 4 episode 2. But at the end of the day, like death and taxes, white rappers are inevitable. Labels will always try to promote them as this next prodigy simply just because they're they're outliers in the genre. And people will just keep eating it up because, whoa, there's a white guy that can rap. Honestly, I think that the gimmick is just getting old and annoying, because I think we can all come to the conclusion that white people also like hip hop, so we don't need to treat every dude that we come across on social media as some fucking spectacle, especially when these dudes aren't even bringing anything new to the table. They're just playing off of the current sound, or just playing as clear caricatures of the culture. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. I mean, I feel like a lot of white rappers nowadays really only have as much length as the sound that they bite from, and not exactly the legacy that they can make. That's why you tend to see a good bit of them just completely abandon sound once they reach a certain level of popularity. But thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next Monday when I do a mukbang while driving at 100 miles per hour on a highway. Peace.
Fuck! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Fuck! Good with you, man?